Alright everyone, this is the second scrap variant that's going to be popular uh, out of probably about 5 or 6 that are out there right now. This is probably either the first or second most popular. It's called Scraptown. I'm sure you can already guess what this deck consists of. We'll go over these cards one more time. You need to run 3 Scrap Chimeras. When it's normal summon, you can grab a Scrap Tuner from your graveyard. Pretty self-explanatory, and it can only be used to sink into scrap monsters, so Scrap Dragon or Scrap Archfiend. At this point, 3 Scrap Beasts. If it's destroyed by a Scrap effect, it gets to search, or gets to grab a Scrap monster from your graveyard, level 4 or below, that isn't Scrap Beast, and add it to your hand. So either Scrap Golem or Scrap Chimera. 3 Scrap Golem, or not Golems, Goblins. It can't be destroyed by battle, but when it's in face-up defense position at the end of the battle phase, he gets destroyed, and he gets to do a scrap search as well, because he gets destroyed by his own effect, which is a scrap effect, and you can either bring a Scrap Chimera or a Scrap Beast to your hand. Awesome card. Scrap Golem, when he's once per turn, he's a 5-star, so he needs a tribute. Once per turn, he can bring 1 scrap monster from the graveyard to the field, special summon it, so that'd be an easy 8-star sync, and that's a universal sync, so it could be a Stardust, Thought Ruler, Scrap Dragon, anything you want, any 8-star, and you run 2 of those. So 3 Chimeras, 3 Beasts, 3 Goblins, 2 Golems, 1 Summoner Monk for obvious reasons. Awesome card. Ditch 1 magic card from your hand, and you have an instant synchro of, pretty much your choice. Everyone knows what he does. And then just a Gorz to save OTK. So that's the basic skeleton, and where it gets a little bit different, you're just going to add in 2 Ancient Gear Gadjiltron dragons. If you're familiar with Geartown, you know why. But they're there. You'll never, almost never, tribute some of these guys. They're going to be summoned by the effect of destroying Geartown. But right now we will go to... Sorry, my card's a little bit out of order after the last video. And there's only so many cards that you have to make this variant Scraptown. There's cards that are up to you, however you want to build it, but you do need certain cards to make it work. And I'll go over the staples that you're going to need. Those monsters that I just showed you pretty much don't change. You could play Tragoedia over Gorz if you'd want, but that's totally preference. Scrapstorm, you destroy a face-up scrap monster on the field. You get to dump 1 scrap monster to the graveyard, and then draw a card, and then the destruction goes off. So if you destroyed a Goblin or a Beast with that, they'd get to do the graveyard thing. So say I played a Goblin, or actually let's say I played a Beast, and they tried to bottomless it. I'd use Scrapstorm, select him as a target, and you can actually do multiple to the same target since the destruction doesn't go through to the end. And you'd be able to dump a Scrap Chimera to the graveyard, draw 1 card, then his destruction would go off, which would allow you to get that Scrap Chimera back to your hand. Then obviously next turn you could play Scrap Chimera, and he would bring back the actual Scrap Beast. So very good card. Run it in 3s. Next is Scrapyard. Staple in any scrap deck. You can run 2 or 3. I think 3 is a little bit much, but you get a Scrap Tuner from your deck to your hand. So Beast or Goblin. And the next, I don't have these sleeved right now because I'm actually running Scrap Keepers at the moment. 3 Geartowns. A few reasons why this card is awesome. Mainly, you could blow it up with your Scrap Dragon to get a Ancient Gear Gadjiltron Dragon, but in addition to that, Black Rose is going to be at 3. So if you have a Scraptown sitting over here face down in your field position, in your field, and your opponent blows it up with Red Dragon Archfiend, or not Red Dragon Archfiend, Black Rose Dragon, you'd have a Ancient Gear Gadjiltron Dragon out there. So it pretty much saves you from total destruction with Black Rose Dragon. You can blow it up with Scrap Dragon. You can blow it up. You can play 1 face down, put another one on top of it. It gets destroyed. You can search it. You can get a dragon that way, and the dragon's gonna be special summoned from your hand, the field, or the graveyard, or the hand, deck, or the graveyard, not the field, obviously. And that's pretty much your basic skeleton for Geartown, or Scraptown. So we'll go over it real quick. what you need are these cards: 3 Geartown, 2 Scrapyards at least, 3 Scrapstorms, your 2 Gadjiltron dragons, Gorz or a Tragoedia, 1 Summoner Monk, 2 Golems, 3 Goblins, 3 Beasts, and 3 Chimeras. That's your basic skeleton there, and everything from here on out is your own preference. I'll just show you what I run. I'm gonna run 1 Mind Control, yeah, for obvious reasons. 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Tragoedia, MST, 2 Book of Moon. There'll actually be, this is actually my deck for the September 1st ban list, because that's probably when I'll start running it, because for now I'm running Scrap Keepers, but I'll actually have 2 of these, a Monster Reborn and a Dark Hole, in addition to what I just showed you. And here is an interesting card you could tech in, Double Cyclone. What it does is it blows up 1 spell or trap card on your side of the field and blows up 1 on theirs. So you use it to blow up Geartown, get your Gear Gadjiltron Dragon, and then blow up 1 card on their field. Very cool. And it's from Duelist Revolution. It's got nice synergy with the deck. I wouldn't mind running it. Starlight, Solemn, Bottomless, Magical Hats. Since we're running Geartown, this is actually probably a staple. Awesome card. Battle phase kicks in, and you have a Scrap Beast out there. We flip this. We get to take 2 non-monster cards from our deck and put it in face down defense position. We shuffle these up, and at the end of the battle phase, the 2 cards that you special summoned are destroyed anyway, or they could destroy them by that. And we'll just say that these were, for the reason of being, these were Geartowns. You just got 2 Ancient Gear Gadjiltron Dragons really easily with Magical Hats. Great synergy with Geartown. And yeah, pretty much a staple in Geartown decks. You run 2 of those, don't run 3. Here's another interesting card you could use. It's called Wild Tornado. It's got a really long effect, but all we really care about is the last one. When it's destroyed, it gets to destroy 1 face-up card on your opponent's side of the field. So we'll say we blow it up with Double Cyclone. We destroy this card and 1 of theirs, and then this card would resolve, and you'd blow up 1 of their face downs. Or you use it for Scrap Dragon Food. You blow this up, 1 of their cards. This gets blown up, and then it resolves, and you destroy another 1 of their face-up cards. Really good card. Could be a dead draw. I've been messing around with it. There's another card that works pretty much the same way, called Dark Coffin, and instead of destroying a face-up card, they can either destroy 1 face-up monster or discard from their hand. They get to choose, and if they can't discard from their hand, they destroy a face-up monster. And that's pretty much it for this variant. I was running it last night. I did okay, just okay, but you know, that's just the way it is sometimes. Well, since this is a separate video, I'll go over the synchros real quick. 3 Scrap Dragons, staple in any Scrap deck. It blows up 1 card on your side of the field and 1 on their side of the field once per turn. So that's why we have those fun cards like Wild Tornado and other things. So he kind of has food to blow people up with. In addition to that, when he's destroyed by any means, whether it be card effect, by royal oppression, even if he's destroyed by royal oppression, he still gets to do his search effect, which is whenever he's destroyed, you can special summon 1 scrap monster to the field. So you do normally grab a Scrap Golem, because then you could then special summon another one out of your graveyard. You just can't special summon Scrap Synchros. 2 Scrap Archfiends, and then everything else is pretty much your preference. But that's another that's going to be a very popular variant of Scraps. So we've gone over Scrap Keepers and Scraptown. I'll probably be running Scrap Keepers this weekend, because I feel like it's a little bit more consistent, less dead draws, because I feel like if you get an Ancient Gear Gadjiltron Dragon at the wrong point in the game, it's really going to just mess you up and be dead in your hand. But it's also really fun once you get it working. So I'm going to go for consistency over firepower at this very moment and run Scrap Keepers this weekend at my locals. So I'll go ahead and give you guys an update when that's over. But there's your second scrap format. Scrap format, not scrap format. Your second scrap build.